Alright guys, we are live once again with the Autocross event. This is going to be interesting. Not quite your usual format for my types of races. Probably not your usual thumbnail. So let's have fun with that. I'm going to grab that and send it over. We're going to start just in about a minute. We got to get our advertisements through, of course. I've got to send this over to Jen. And now going on to our advertisements before we get going shortly. This event has been presented by Gold Edit Ninja. YouTube channel. You can check them out in the links. They're a beatboxer, YouTuber, gamer. You can also look up FIWC, which is an F1 league. I do recommend it. They're quite entertaining. They just finished their season, but there is going to be another one coming up soon. As you can also see, another one being Monarch Racing WTRC in yesterday's event with the 1960s F1 cars, and today's Group C event winner, Jack Bro. He's the guy that runs it. We also have Enderthalz, another YouTuber that could really use our help. Helped us. Let's give it back to him. Then finally, we have Forza Racing League, which is a Forza Motorsports League. If anyone's interested in that, or link is in the description. That being said, it's time to go. Our first person up, Eris Netta. So I'm gonna fly out of the way. Eris Netta on the first run of the day. It's completely clear timing board. As she goes around the first hairpin, goes a little wide. Now she makes her way through a little wide once again, rolling up on those tires. You're going to lose a little time by doing that, because those tires are a little frustrating, but what loses more time is getting cuts. So far, though, she's been looking good. Has her second sector. It's a 13.623. Gets a little loose. Might this be a cut, or will it be green? It is a cut on the last sector. There's many more runs to go, as I need to see whom is whom. Next person up. We'll see it. Next person up. Makes his way over, bumping a little bit. He is Cam. So looking at Cam, running all over those tires. And he's having a little bit of a lag spike. That's a little frustrating, but that's okay. You know, in a sense, it kind of reminds me of a really tiny rally. Maybe that is what this is. Camp the Killer making his way through the second sector. As Beige is going to start his first one. He's invalid. Beige now making his way through the first turn. First sector, not quite as fast as Air. Still very quick. Making his way over up to the hook. Now making his way up from the hook onto the back stretch. So only a few more turns here as the next cars making their way out. As he is done with this run, he goes quick time with a 28.201. We are certainly going to see quicker times, though. Up next, they have another guy out. I had to see as he goes around turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Matt's. So I'm going over to watch Matt's now as he makes his way over up to the hook. I'm going to call that turn the hook from here on. I think that's a fitting name. You might want to do a little bit of handbraking on that if you want to get some more speed through it. Running really much so onto the little tires. He goes a little bit slow through here. He will get about time though. Makes himself a 33.983. Making his way back around. We're going to look up for the next sector. Or next driver. That is Rez Levin. Actually a NASCAR guy. So he might be of interest. First sector is almost as fast as Eris is, so he's another one of these good drivers, a big gun to look out for. That's a 15.750 sector 2. It's going to be a good one, but it's not going to be good enough for quick time. It is still overall a very quick lap. Up next on the board, another car going to make their way out. I believe that is going to be Performance Engineer. He swept everything on the road course. Maybe he'll have something to do on the Autocross event. Time not the best on that Sector 1. Sector 2 now as he goes through the hook up to the backstretch. We're going to see how that one looks. Is it purple? It is not purple. It's a 16 second. Seems to have ran a little bit onto the infield tires. He still is good enough for third as we see the next car out over there. Let's see what this field is. That is Blue Sonic Gen, so he's going to be an interesting figure. Blue Sonic Gen. Purple Sector 1 as he goes through the hook. So far the fastest I've seen this during testing has been to 23. Is Purple Sector 2. He might be the quickest of today. That might be a cut though, and it is a cut. Would have been quick though. Had it been valid. And up next we have a guest looking figure. Not quite sure who that one is. It makes its way over through the first turn. Taking it nice and easy. That is, by the looks of it, it is Viper Cobra making a rare return. This is one of the UD racers from way back then. Making a short return to Touge development, it seems. That shows how easy this event is. You don't need to do any signups or anything. You just need to be in the server. You can try this event out. Decent looking Sector 1, Sector 2. Probably going to take this one easy. Just get the time in, learn the track. It's a 36-second time. Current bottom of the board, but that's okay to get. Next driver in is Twin Turbo V6, another heavy hitter. With a decent looking Sector 1. He now makes his way over across the hook and onto the backstretch he goes. Looking over on the backstretch, it's a 15-second Sector 2. As he makes his way through, goes second quick on the board. Next driver is out. So make the way over through turns 1 and 2. Current standings, Beige, Twin, and Reslevan as your top 3. We're going to look at Maca with a decentish looking Sector 1. That's 9.301. Make his way up and through the hook. And up onto the backstretch he goes. It is a 15.3 or 15.534, and out of it he is going to be, that looks like 30.1 of 30. Oh, that's not the next driver out. Who's out? Eris Netta. Is she out for another run? Yes, she is. As a person that started this event, now for her second run. Through the backstretch, she's looking about the same as she was last time. Will she get a cut or will she be clean? She will get a cut. Unfortunately for her. So that meant that the next person was, I believe, Beige. That was Cam. So Cam was the next person now. Making his way through the first turn. Next hairpin, and he's kind of messed up. That is still a valid time, and is he going to dump this run, or is he going to use it as semester practice? Appears to use it as semester practice at this point. Time doesn't seem to be really going anywhere, although he might be able to find himself with at least some sort of scrap of a time. 18 second Sector 2, not as quickest, but it will be his first valid lap. Never mind. Invalid second sector, or invalid third sector, as Beige is out. First sector, not too quick, rolling on the infield tires. That's gotta be a little frustrating, but he still has the quickest time on the board so far. So good on him for that. Sector 2, not the best. This might just be another practice run for this guy. Next guy is out. And I think that might be Res 11. No, it's not Res 11. It is. I gotta learn this little thing here, and it looks like it's Matt's. Matt's is up next. Matt's going through the first sector with not the best. Goes all the way out wide. There's no cuts there, although you can't really gain much of an improvement by going out there. Invalid Sector 2, nevertheless. So he's going to roll across the line on practically every tire. He can run on 32-second lap time. And engineer with a fast-looking Sector 1. Makes his way through the hook and onto the backstretch. Faster, improved looking Sector 2. Will he be fouled? No, he will not be fouled. Would have been quick time had he been fouled. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to work. We're holding people up as they make their way over. Seem to have waited a little bit too long. It looks like that's Res 11 by the looks of it, though. Res 11 now preparing to do his run. Only about, I'd say about 15 seconds before he does so. You can see Blue Gen right behind Viper Cobra. And the third spot, you see Twin there. And the cycle continues. It appears that 2 runs takes about 10 minutes, so assuming we keep this route, which makes sense given it's about 30 seconds. So assuming this route, it'll take maybe, what would that be, like 12 runs? Bust out 12 runs. Res 11 with a decent looking Sector 1 as it makes its way through the hook and onto the backstretch. A little bit tight on the entry. Slower looking Sector 2. Really tight up to the tires. He will not improve. Blue Sonic Jet is up next. Making its way out. Blue Gen through the first little hook there. That's not his best Sector 1, but it's not a bad one. He still hasn't set a valid lap yet. He makes his way through the hook and onto the backstretch up the tires. Should still be a valid one. We'll have to see. It is valid. That's a white Sector 2. Makes his way through. And a red Sector 3. Up next is Twin Turbo V6. Or actually, Viper Cobra is down there. Viper Cobra having set 7th quickest so far of foul times. First sector is through, and it's a decent looking Sector 1, 9.915. So now he makes his way over up to the hook. It's a little bit slow. You might want to use your handbrake if you're me, at least. Now onto the backstretch. It's a green Sector 2. Might want to try to get a valid lap here. He does improve, moves up to 6th place. As now is Twin Triple V6's turn. Twin making his way already through turn 1. Up through turn 2. Seems to be using his handbrakes a little bit. And that was a good looking Sector 1, not his fastest. Tries to use the handbrakes again, rolls up the tires. And that's going to cost him a little bit of time potentially. What will Sector 2 look like? It is still green. Makes its way over through the last set of turns. That might be a red. It is a red. Next up, I believe that might be Cam. Or, that is Mac. Call it Macca. Macca through 1 out of 2, and it's already invalid. At this point, it's a practice run for this one. Zara's Netta right behind, waiting for her next run. We'll still check his time, nevertheless, although it's not going to matter too much at this point. He's all over the track, it seems. Air's about to start her run now. And it's green for her. Air's now through turn 1. Decent looking Apats. Might be invalid. No, it's not. It's purple. Goes a little wide, but that's okay. So she had a really good exit coming up to the hook. Presses her brakes beautifully. And she's running well. Is this going to be a purple Sector 2? No, it's not. Still looks good. Coming through the last little set of S's, and out of it, she goes quick time with a 26.043. This kind of feels like qualifying train to me. Next person up, this is Cam, is up next. I'm starting to get the hang of who is who, where is where. Cam now making his way through the first turn. Has not had a valid time that has been set yet. That's a 9.427 Sector 1. Now make his way up through the hook. Out onto the backstretch. Here he goes. That wasn't that bad looking. That could be a decent looking Sector 2. At the 50.6. Might make it a spot up or two. As he gets a valid lap. Gets up ahead of Viper Cobra. Next driver is up. Is that who is this person going to be? That is Beige. Not his best looking Sector 1. Not bad, nevertheless. As he goes through the hook, nice and well, up to the backstretch. Sector 2 is green. Maybe he'll have some sort of form of improvement. Yes, he does, but not good enough to catch up to Eris. Next driver is now up. This is looking by not blue. We're gonna check real quickly. It's Matt's. Okay, Matt's noted. Matt's through the second turn. Decent looking sector 1. Now as he goes up to the hook. From the hook onto the backstretch. Rolls a little on the tires. It seems to be struggling with these cars. They are a little hard to handle. That's a 17.9, almost 18 second sector 2. Sector 3 looks decent though, but it's only gonna get him up a little. Next up, you can see that is that's Perf. Okay, so Perf is gonna probably try to do something here. Maybe he'll be able to sweep everything, as I said earlier. He's making his way up onto the backstretch. Sector 2, let's see what he gets here. It is a green sector 2 through the last set of S's. Touches the tires. Keeps it rolling. Will move to P2. And up next is Res 11. Starting to get some of the guys I'm more familiar with a little better. Res 11 through 1. Sector 1 looks decent. Not the best. Still decent. So he's making his way now over to the hook. Is he going to use his handbrakes or is he just going to use his normal abilities? Yes, he is. Normal abilities it is. Up onto the backstretch. It is a green sector 2. Still doesn't look too great though. But it will move him up to third place with this 27.5 sits. That's a decent one. That's blue. That's up next now. Blueja now through turn 1. Looks like a really good line there. Turn 2. That's a little tire. And that could have cost him a few tenths there. Blueja goes through the hook. That sector 1 looked decent. Sector 2, we'll have to see how it looks though. It's a decent looking sector 2 now through the final little set of S's. And he is through. It is second quick on the board with a 26.234. And now I believe it is Twin. No, it's not Twin. Who is it? Personally feeling quite hungry. It is Viper Cobra. Viper Cobra, that is a green sector 1. 9.083. A little bit of an interesting line coming up through the backstretch. The final set of S's. And he will move up to 7th quickest overall. Twin Turbo now up, starting backwards for some reason. I wouldn't recommend that. Twin now starting backwards for some reason. This is as you can see, this doesn't work very well for pretty obvious reasons. Moving on to the next person then, whom already is going to be coming up, as Twin is not even done with his first turn. Hasn't even made a sector yet. So I believe up next is Maka. A sector that looks like someone's whole entire lap time. Our next person is Maka with an 8.888 sector 1. Now coming up from the hook to the backstretch. And it's a 13.9 sector 2. How will he do? That could be invalid. Yeah, it is. Eris Netta now up. As Twin has not yet even gone to sector 2. Trying to go backwards. Again, it's decent looking line through 1. Runs up the tires through 2. That was a purple sector 1 though, so it shows she does have pace. I don't think this will be a record run though. That's a good looking line at first, although she went up the tires. That's going to cost a little bit of time. Sector 2, 50.3. This does not look like it's going to be too important. It's green sector 3 though, so it shows she could improve by a decent little bit there. Next person up. That is Matt. That's Cam. Cam making his way through the first sector. It is going to look like a 9.2. It's a green sector 1 for him. Now making his way up through the hook. It's decent, but a little bit on the tires. You don't want to run on those too much. 16.050. And that lap is not valid. And up next, it looks like it's going to be, that was not blue, was it? No, that wasn't blue. Was that res? No, it wasn't res. That was beige. I need to remember that. Beige. 9.018 sector 1. It's green for him, although that's not the best type of thing to do. Running up on those tires, that takes away a lot of time. Still a decent sector 2. With a little bit of a drift type of style line. It improves a bit, but not enough to move up. He went from leading the entire thing to 5th. And it's not too hard to get back up there at the front, though. Up next, you see Performance Engineer. Performance Engineer now making his run just to... Well, wait. It's Matt's up next. Alright, we're going to focus on Matt's for the moment, then. Matt's 10-second sector 1. Sector 2 coming up. Perf is about to start his run. Sector 2, 18.298. I don't think this will be improving as Perf starts his time. It's a 33 for him. As Perf starts his run now, up through turn 1, trying to push his car as much as he can. Now through turn 2, he's going to go. And that's a nice looking drift. That could easily be the quickest one. 8.199 sector 1. Sector 2 looks quick. He's got to be careful through here. Touches the tires a bit, but he's going to go 2 in position. Second in position. And that is a 26.116. I wouldn't say that's half bad, as the next guy's up. That could be Blue Sonic Jet. No, it's Res 11. A little bit disheveled, seeing all the different all the same cars. Going to tell a little bit by the drivers. Not the best sector 1, but not bad either. And that's 28.679. Next guy's up. That is blue, I believe. Blue through turns 1 and 2. Sector 1, 8.268. Now making its way up and over towards the hook. As you get a good line, does a little bit of a Scandinavian flick out of it and onto the backstretch. Looking at his way over the backstretch, that's a decent looking backstretch. There's like 12.2. He goes quick time with a 25.182. Purple sector 3, but the sector 1 could be improved. That means there's definitely more opportunity for more speed. As our next guy makes his way through turns 1 onto his first sector. That is Viper Cobra. Viper Cobra now making his way by. First sector was 9.350 from the hook onto the backstretch. That looked pretty decent, I have to admit. That's a 15.398. A little bit into the tires. Last sector is going to move him up to 7th. That's a 28.918. Next guy is up. Twin Triple V6, judging by the person inside. Sector 1, 9.079. As he's now up and through the hook. Nice drift by Twin. This could easily be a great looking sector 2. It's a 13.447. Little room of improvement. Invalid sector 3 moved him up a few spots at least. Up next, that is Macca. Macca sector 1 is an 8.729. He could be a potential hard hitter today if he could get this through. That could have been a cut. We'll have to see. Runs up the tires, so that screwed his second sector up a little. How much though? Enough to be invalid. Next one is up. That is Aris Netta. Aris now up. Through 1 and 2. Gets a little bit loose there. Taps the wall. I'd say that's the first wall contact I've seen today. Her sector 1, not the best. Not bad necessarily. As she's now making her way through the hairpin. Through the hook. Not to the backstretch. It is a green sector 2, faster than what blue had, as she's through the line. Invalid lap. Would not have made her up position. Would have improved if she got that valve though. As it is Beige up next. Sector 1 for Beige. 8.6. That's a decent looking Sector 1, I'd have to admit. Making its way through the hook. And it's a little bit of tire running. Sector 2 is a 14. As he goes through with a improved 26.682, moves off a spot or two. Up next, I believe that might be Cam. Cam Sector 1 looks like a 9.134. Runs a bit onto the tires. That's going to cost a little bit of time there. Ooh. Now that's a way you could drift around. How's that Sector 2 going to look? Not bad. 14.884. But the Sector 3 had a cut. And up next is another guy that I don't quite recognize, although I do believe that might be Matt's. Matt's cruising through the first turn, 10.449, Sector 1, as he rolls a little bit onto the tires. Is it perfect set up next? Yes, it is. I'm going to watch Perf for this one. I have a feeling he might come up with something if he does good. Matt's with an 18.882 is Perf up now. Not any valid lap yet. Perf, that was a good amount of speed carried through 1. 2 was good. He's looking good at his first sector now, making his way up and over towards to the hook. And that's a great little drift, carrying a lot of energy out onto the backstretch. He goes purple on his Sector 2. Could this be a new track? It's not a new track record yet, but it is quick time with a 25.109. Next driver is up onto the track. Gonna watch as they go around 1. That looks like Twin. Twin now through 1. That's an 18.857 Sector 1. Now going through the hook. Onto the backstretch, as you can see on the board. 13.505. Might move up a spot or two. Might even go quick time if he sticks it. Moves up to 4th though. Next driver's up through, and it looks like it's going to be Blue Sonic Gen. Blue Sonic Gen around turn 1. Carrying a decent amount of speed through it. Carrying a good amount of speed out of 2. Sector 1 is 8.512. It's a nice little drift. Little tire running though. That's going to cost a little bit of time as he makes his way. Sector 2 is green still. Nevertheless, as he makes his way through, he's going to move nowhere. Still, nonetheless, a great run. Driver seemed to glide a little bit for the first spot. You see Viper around 1. Looking reasonably decent. That's a 9.381 Sector 1. We're starting to approach the halfway point of the session. Should I say feature overall. And I believe, has Cam started the run or something, or have first sector as Viper 1 proved to a 28.281. And this guy is up, and that looks like that is Maka. Maka now through the first turn. Sector 1, 8.875. Not bad. You see Eris is going to start up next. I think we've done about 6 runs now. And Maka, Sector 2, going to be 50.313. Not the best. And is going to improve, but still stays 8th. Eris now up next. See if she could do anything. Carries a lot of speed through 1. Sector 1 is an 8.635. Overcooks a little bit. Goes into the tires, onto the hook. Gets a little more tire action. This might not be her best. Does not look bad though. Oh, it's the first crash of the night. That's a little bit of a bonk of the tire barrier. And you can see Beige up next. He's going to have to recover from that one a little bit. Still third overall. Green sector 1, 8.516. Not bad. Make his way through the hook. Now on the backstretch, 13.869. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be valid. It is not valid. It's this Mats. It is Mats that's now running up next. You can also see Performance Engineer. I've been wanting to see him get a good run, but so far he's been practically at a snail's pace in comparison to the other people tonight. Especially with Perf behind in comparison. It's just... I want to see Perf. Perf now about to prepare for his next run. You can hear Matt's in the distance, 18.193. Will he be able to improve through anyone? As Perf starts his next run. Does not improve for Matt's. Now Perf carrying a lot of speed through 1. How's 2 going to look? That's a lot of speed through 2. Does a little bit of a nice little drift there coming up through to the hook. As Cars Lewis does a Scandinavian flick. Gets a little bit onto the tires, but not really enough to do much. That's 7.966 for Sector 1. Sector 2 looks great. Sector 3 will go quick. It will be quicker, but that last sector just not valid. Twin now going to run. So we're now about to reach the halfway point. Twin having a bit of wall contact. This is probably not going to be his best run. Sector 2 could be better. Goes right through pretty quickly though. On the last sector though, it's not going to be valid. Blue now up next. I believe this is his 6th or 7th run. Blue Gen's first sector is 8.283. Bounces on the tires, unfortunately for him. Blue Gen going to run a little wide there onto the backstretch. Here he is, 13.501. And it's not going to improve, though Sector 3 was better than his last run. But Cobra up next. See if Viper can improve himself any. Sector 1 is a little better than last time. Last time was his fastest run so far. So that is a good sign. As he goes a little bit too wide onto the tires. Now make his way from the hook to the backstretch. Sector 2 time, 14.9. And it's not valid. Well, it is valid, but it's not good enough to prove anything. Maka now up. With Maka potentially through 1. Not the fastest I've seen, but does look decent. That's an 8.483. Maybe he just doesn't look fast, but he is quite quick. Making his way through the hook. From the hook now onto the backstretch. Here he is. Going through it. 14.301. Sector 2. And invalidates Sector 3. Would have improved though. Potentially enough to move up to 5th. Or 6th place. Next driver is up. Don't know who that is quite yet. That is Arisnetta. That is not Arisnetta. That is Jen. Of all people, actually. Jen. That's a good looking Sector 1 for Jen. But screwed a little bit up there. Running up to the tires. Sector 2. 13.983. Might be able to move up a few spots. He misses the entire sector. Arisnetta now running. That's the first person of the night that's missed the final sector. As I said, it is very tight. Aris, not the best looking Sector 1. What's this? This looks to be some sort of technique she's doing, trying to avoid the infill tires altogether. Knows there's no cut there. Maybe she's trying to get more speed up to the hook. And that did seem to be a pretty good way to go through the hook. Sector 2 is a 14. 137. She's just going to roll over and finish her run. Not literally, but figuratively. Cam now going. That's not bad through the first turn. 8.947. Runs himself clean, a little wide. Not bad though. Up to the hook. Tries to do a flick, although he runs up a little bit onto the tires. That's a 50.491. We're going to see what Res 11 has, as Cam will not improve. That's beige. That's beige. Alright, they're up next. A lot of speed through 1. It's an 8.540. Two. 13.796 and goes through, improves, finds himself in 5th place with the 26.587. Although I think it might have actually been 5th, but it does move up a little. That's good. He's getting a little comfortable with the car. You can see Twin now running up next, and he's a little bit he's in 4th. There's actually another person that's that would be Matt's. Matt's with the 9.684 sector 1, runs a little bit out of the tires. We'll be seeing Twin in a bit. And that's probably an invalid lap. Yes, it is. Twin now running. You can see Perf right behind. Twin carrying a lot of speed through 1. How is 2 going to be? Stays clean of the tires. Now up to the hook. Does a nice little driftily touch any of the tires. No, he won't. He goes clean. 8.518 sector 1, sector 2, 13.759. Maybe he'll move up a spot or two, maybe to the podium. No, he will not. Not bad. Close to his best. Perf now next. Perf's run now going. Decent amount of speed through 1. Not his best though. Now up to the hook. Beautiful little Scandinavian flick onto the backstretch. Running as much energy as it can. That's a good looking sector 2. Maybe he'll be able to improve. He does improve. Not quite the fastest. Still quick time by almost half a second. Bujan up next. I need a little water. My throat's getting dry. Blue's carrying a lot of speed through 1. Look at that, sector 1. Sector 2, that's going to be a little bit of time lost out of that. That's a decent flick, though. Sector 2, 13.151. Will be able to improve. He will be able to go sub 25 with a 24.882. Second quick. And up next, I think that was Viper. Viper now running. Carrying a little bit of speed through 1. As it's still a 9.851. Rolling onto the tires. Nine 14.996 sector 2. And will be 30.081. Okay, let's see who the next guy running through is going to be. That looks like it's going to be Maka. Maka slams a little bit of his right side into the tire barriers. Decides to call his run a day. So we're going to see another car up through in about 10 seconds. That looks like... I have no clue who this guy is. I think it's a newcomer. I have to see who this guy is. Oh, it's Jen. It's Jen. What do I mean by a newcomer? It's literally Jen. Okay, Jen. Sector 1 looks decent. Little flick, a little onto the tires. On the hook. Out through the backstretch. It is green on the backstretch. How will his time look like overall? Gets validated on the last few turns. You can see Eris Netta up next. I'm gonna try to get out of the way as soon as I can. Eris carrying a lot of speed through 1. 7.763 goes too wide through 2. Now make their way through the hook. Nice little flick on the backstretch. Here's sector 2, still decent. Sector 3, a little loose. It is not going to be valid. There's this beige up next. You get further back. Beige through sector 1. It is a green sector 1, 8.325. Up, coming up towards the hook. Now the hook onto the backstretch. 13.223. And dumps the last sector, absolutely. Still good enough for 28. Next car is up. Next car is Cam. I'm gonna run over the track. That's Cam sector 2, 50.687 finishes with a 30-second time. Twin now making his way out. Decent amount of speed through turn 1. Turn 2 now. A little bit of sideways action. Almost on the tires. Kind of runs a bit of them. Sector 1, 8.396. Dumps the hook as he's making his way over to the backstretch. He's going to go wide and finds himself with an invalid lap due to there being a cut there. Alright, up next, it is going to be Matt's. Carrying a little more speed than he has. Oh, I'm being lagged. 9.316 sector 1. Flicks it. No, he just not flick it. He just drives over it normally. Is he going to make his way over? A little bit of bouncing on the tires. 50.993 or 933. It's an invalid sector 3. Waiting for the next person up onto the board. Oh, it's perf. It's perf. It's perf. Perf as usual, carrying a lot of speed. Perf. Green sector 1, 7.799. How's this going to look over here? Overcooks the hook. And onto the backstretch. Yeah, it's a 30.643. And just absolutely dumps this last sector. Gonna assume it's Blue Sonic Gen that's up next. Blue Sonic Gen, decent looking sector 1, although not its best. Does a pretty good job through the hook and onto the backstretch. That's a purple sector 2. Will he do anything on this time? He will not. He would have gone quick time, however, had that been a valid lap. As Viper now is running up next. See what he does through 1. I would say that was his best. Try to do a little bit of flick. Not too successful. And that was Blue. Who was that? Who am I watching? Oh, that's Viper. Did Viper improve any? No, he did not. Next driver is out there. It's Mecha. Did not get any valid lap last time around. And through the hook, going really slow. 17-second sector 2. Slowing a little bit down here. As I can see, Jen, he completely stopped before the line. What's he doing? As Jen, Sector 1, Sector 2, both decent, will find himself going third quick, now at the podium. It's a little bit distracted there, I do apologize. Enderthalz up next. Enderthalz will overcook. What the heck? It seems like she's unfazed by infill tires completely. Enderthalz will improve. Get to head back up to the podium, although I have that recorded. I'd be interested to see if anyone was to record that or review that. Up next, I don't know who's next, although I think that is Beige next, of course. Beige up next with the green looking Sector 1. Faster, I think that's a personal best for him. Now up through the hook. And onto the backstretch. Decent looking backstretch run. Really sideways up in the last S's. She's like, I'm typing. Then he will move to, or he will be in 6th place now. I think he hasn't moved up any spots from that. There's a new driver up. And we're about to be 15 minutes through. Twin Triple V6. With a good looking Sector 1. Not the best, but personal best for him. Nice drift through the hook and onto the backstretch. And that's a 13.3 to 8 Sector 2. Moves up to 4th. And I'm being carried. This is not my will. Who is that? That looks like it's Matt's. 9.6 Sector 1. We're already past 14, or we're already past the 15 mark. 15-minute mark. My voice is going to be exhausted from commentating. I've been commentating all day since Friday. Practically, it seems. As Matt's not going to get a valid lap. I think it's perfect runs after this. Yes, it is. A lot of speed through 1, even counter steering from that. That's a good looking drift. Sector 1 is not green, although it is still quick looking. Through the hook he goes. And it's a little bit of tire bouncing. Not a whole lot. Sector 2, 13.05 sits. It looks good through the S's, although not good enough to get an improved lap. You can see Blue Sonic Jet again, making, I believe, if my calculations are correct, this is probably going to be, I think this is his 9th run. Bounces a little bit on the tires. How many people do we have? I have 11 people that have ran. The most out of any event so far. Blue Gen is probably not going to improve. I was right. Yeah, it is Viper Cobra next. Viper Cobra through 1. A little bit of wall contact, no biggie. Through 2. 9.133 Sector 1. And he goes wide, a little off the track on the hook to the backstretch. Still is purple, or still is green. Will improve, not enough to move a spot. And it is Maka up next. Trying to go fast through 1, though lost a lot of speed from that. Loses a lot of speed through 2. Now through the hook, a little bit of bouncing. he will not. Well, he will not improve. Cutie Hawk, I don't think that's a person I've seen before. As Jen is not making a run. Jen's first sector, 18.103. Nice through the hook, a little bit out of the tire, though that might have some implications on this lap. 13.771. At least it's been a battle for the podium, and he's going to have an invalid lap on that last sector, going off the track a bit. I've been involuntarily captured once more to make myself invisible. There's Netta now on the track. 8.054 sector 1. Sector 2 through the hook. Onto the backstretch. And that is a 13.102. Decent looking sector 2. Sector 3 does improve, not enough to move any more spots though. I believe that might be beige up next. Sorry, I'm starting to worn down. 8.286 sector 1. And now through the backstretch. 13.923. Final little set of S's. You can see Twin up next. Twin now running. He's gonna make his way through 1. Carries a lot of speed. That's a green sector 1 for him. He makes his way up and through the hook. Goes really wide. And sector 2 still is green. Could be a invalidated lap. No, it's not. Moves to P2. As Mats is now going to run this time. Mats taking it slowly through 1. 9.967 sector 1. Now through the hook. And coming out to the backstretch. 16.398. I think that was Perfect's up next. And he does improve, not enough to move up a spot though. Perf now running. Blast speed through 1 gets a little bit sideways. Always exciting to see Perf drive. He's always on the limits, even through 2. That was a 8.008. Nice drift coming out to the backstretch from the hook. Sector 2 is a purple 1. Could this have any implications on an improved time? Yes, it does. 24.570. As the next person, I think it's going to be Blue. As he gets out onto the track. Blue through turn 1. 8.283 goes wide. That could be a potentially I don't think it'll be invalid, but that might be a bad lap from here. 13.765 and invalid. Cover through 1, 9.232. So now I think he's on his 10th run, maybe even approaching 11. I think this might be run 11, yeah. And moves himself up to 6, does improve. It's definitely Mac up next now. Mac making his way up to turn 1. In turn 1, he's going to be green. 8.378. .378. Backstretch, not green. Will be able to at least improve his time. He moves up to 8th ahead of Res 11. So there's Jen making a run. So Jen looking like he's getting a 8.324. And that's more than likely an invalid lap. 2F would have improved. And there's Eris next. Eris now running. She's been trying to run as fast as she can. Tries to carry speed through there. I think I've seen faster, but not bad looking necessarily. They'll probably look for lesser runs. I think she's starting to get a little bit worn out. Cannot blame her. I think this is definitely her 11th run. Sector 2, 13.742. Sector 3 looks quick, but does not improve. And it's Beige up next. Through 1, carrying a decent amount of speed. And bouncing a little bit. 18.338, Sector 1. Now making the way up onto the backstretch of Sector 2. Sector 2 looks like it's going to be probably a general time for Beige. Does not improve. Twin, I believe, up next. We're starting to approach the 5 minutes to go mark, and I believe at least, once the timer runs out, everyone will be given one more chance. If they have, not crossed the line. Twin has done a rather interesting line through there, and I think he just wants to get this run over with. It's not a lot of areas you can cut in, that shows. So I think that's going to be Perf Nets. No, it's going to be Mats? Yeah. With Mats being up next. Oh, look at that. That's a Wolf Team Racing owner. Cool guy. Daniel Wolf. He might be just interested in trying these out. Gonna cruise on by. Look over at Perf because he's about to get going again. Perf gonna grow over in Sector 1. Not the best, still looks quick. Still on the limit. A little bit of a tire touch. As he's going to make a good line through the hook and onto the backstretch. His second sector looks very quick indeed. Maybe this might be good enough for quick time. It would have been had it not been validated at the last little turn. Zero Blue on who guys got to pick its Viper. So with Viper running now through turn 1. Looks decent, 18.466. Viper Cobra from the hook onto the backstretch. That was decent looking. Sector 2 is improved. Maybe he'll be able to move up into the top 5. Yes, he does. With a 25.748. Lucian up next. Goes really wide, trying to do some strategy, maybe where he carries a bunch of speed into the next turn. 8.600, and that is a little bit of a... This might be a throwaway lap for Blue here. That's a good flick, though, through the hook. Sector 2, still decent, as he's invalidated his lap. Jen up next. Jen through 1, looks quick through 2. Runs a little wide. 1 was very fast to look at 7.976. He's trying to push his hardest. He's a guy that tuned these cars, so he does know these probably a little better than other people. That's a 14.448. And it's invalid. As it looks like Mecha up next. I might actually run after this is all over. I don't know. I might. I think I'll let everything stay. Yeah. Maybe after the event is over. Mecha with a little bit of running on tires. 13.187, Sector 2. He'll finish up improved in 8th. So he keeps his position. Eris now making her way up through 1. She seems to be going a little bit faster this time. We'll see. She goes up towards the hook. Out through turn 2. 7.983, but runs into the tires. That's going to cost a bit of time. It's desperate. That could have been a cut. It is a 14.078. Not going to be the best time. As is beige next. Couple hard hitters. So there's now under a minute left. I think everyone will be able to get one last run in. So that'll probably mean the person to get 1 minute in. So that was Blue Gen. Does not improve. That lap is invalid. Twin Turbo V sits up next. Maybe he'll be able to find himself improving. Sector 1 is green. So makes his way through. Does not touch any of the tires. Carrying a lot of momentum up towards the hook. Got 15 seconds to go. There might be one last run before everyone is finally done. Yeah, his twin is going to dump his time. Yeah, I believe that is perf. There might be a debate over whether or not he gets a valid lap or not. As perf is going to make his way up towards the hook. From the hook onto the backstretch. As perf is going to go quick time once again with a 24.019. So he's still really fast there. I wonder if anyone can beat this in the final runs. These are the last little bit of stakes. Blue Gen trying to carry as much speed as he can. It was a little wide from 1, now to 2. Trying to carry speed, runs up the tires. He's going to try his hardest, though, to at least try to keep going. Snaps it through the hook. He'll at least have a podium as he's running so far. Has a good-looking Sector 2. Runs up the tires and invalidates his lap. Would have gone by Twin had he not invalidated his own lap. Tough luck for him. Still in 3rd as of now. You can see Viper on his final run. As Viper is going to slow down. Probably just going to finish the day for him. Still P5, which is rather decent given his pretty big hiatus from, I'd say, road racing in general. That's alright for him, I'd say. Does not improve. And up next, we're going to have Matt's not making his way through the first turn. A little faster than he has been in general, though he's going to bump a little bit into the tires on turn 2. 9.716, Sector 1. Runs up the tires. Tries to get through them. Runs through a pretty good margin of them. Number, excuse me. And his lap is invalid. Jen is up next. Maybe the guy that made the cars could find himself going from 6th to 1st. Tries to carry as much speed as he can. Runs the tires. Now making his way over through turn 2, 8.299. A little bit more tire bouncing. Almost taps the wall up into the hook. Does a little snap of the tires. And now he's onto the back stretch. Sector 2, 14.649. So that's probably not going to be anything better. does not improve. That's set in stone for him. A couple more drivers left, and I can see those lights are bright. There's Netta now going. There's Netta going quickly through 1, now 2. This is her final chance to maybe do anything better. 8.342 sector 1. Not the best, not what she wanted. And she's going to bounce up the tires. Sector 2, 13.525. She will probably more than likely stay in 4th place. Okay, now coming up onto the track, we see Twin Turbo V6. Will he try to go for the win? This is his last opportunity to get the win. Or will Perf literally clean sweep every single race he enters? Sector 1, 8.836. .439 sector 2, and he's not going to have a valid lap. Okay, up next, we're going to see Maka. Maka going through 1, now through 2, going a little slowly, and it's an 8.430. Is he the last person of the night, actually? Or is there somebody else coming? I think it might be Perf and one other person, because Perf like literally had last second. You see Beige on his last run of the night. Beige with an 8.488 sector 1. Going through the hook now, slows a little down, just a little bit of a flick. A little bit of a handbrake hold. 13.360. Might be able to make up a position or 2 by the end of this. Does improve, but not enough to get by Jen. Only by 0.02 of a second. As we now have for the night, Ari has a win. Maybe he wants to break the record that I had a little bit earlier in practice. That was a 23-second lap. See other people trying to distract him. Sector 1, 7.931. Make his way up through the hook. You know he's won the event, but he wants to do even more. Does a really good way through the hook. Sector 2, bouncing out the tires. He's trying to push everything he can. No, he cannot, but he still has the win. Jenna's just throwing all of the champagne away from... He doesn't get the champagne. He's too young. I mean, Blue Gen's even younger. Well, that should commence the stream. So folks, that's your podium. Alright everyone, thank you for watching. We're going to do a little more messing around after this is all over. So go around, share this video. Let's have a great time. And thank you for watching.